Hey guys, this is Ekron Writer here. I want to present to you another F-Zero one-shot while I still can. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be... That doesn't mean I'm gonna be, presenting projects subsequently like I used to, but might as well get this over with. Anyways, I want to present another F-Zero one-shot. And this one is actually based on one of my all-time favorite episodes of F-Zero GP Legend, known as Episode 8, The Secret Within. This one has actually helped me grow more fond of Rick. And as you can see right here, that's him with the dragon bird when he first stepped out of cold sleep into New York. Can you blame this guy? He's been through a lot, especially from what I'm about to show you. Vulnerability of a hero. And this is a one-shot I made recently. It's another request fic by Barry Watterson, just like Tanaka in Trouble. But at least I get the chance to finally make a story based on my personal favorite episode of GP Legend, The Miss Killer Puzzle, The Answer Within. Ever since I first saw this lap, I knew it was the most dramatic, the most tragic, and it was my first encounter with Miss Killer, Luna Rider, or Misaki Haruka, in which I found out from the GP Legend game, as well as the Cool Moon Shadow. I swear, this was one of the episodes I'd grown quite addicted to. So this is loosely on the song fic I created, as well as focusing on Rick's bout with his survivor's guilt, while Dark Million takes advantage of it, his victories, and his dark past. Bio-Rex is leading the pack. His mean machine, the Big Fang, is really chewing up this track. But Rick Wheeler and Octoman are right on his tail, so to speak. Mr. Zero announced over the roar of the audience as they were glued on a track within Mute City. Of course, this was the most common place for F-Zero races, even the worst waging against Dark Million. Rick and Jack are up against Bio-Rex, Octoman, and even this tricky circuit that had so many jumps that even a few unfortunate pilots experienced a blowout if they couldn't make it. Thank goodness Tinsel wasn't there, or it rekindled her worst fears she had at Whiteland. I can see why this track makes the pilots so jumpy, Rick said while controlling the Dragon Bird with minimal effort. Jody urged him on the dashboard. Rick, this is the last lap. It's crucial that we win this race. You won't have a chance unless you make your move. And, sorry, Jody. I'd love to chat, but I got a race to win. He continued to valiantly pursue the two thugs, but they awaited him as the course was beginning to turn violently and even start to narrow. Last lap. The mutated Tyrannosaur looked behind and saw Rick on his heels. You're not getting past me, Wheeler. This is my chance on some major woolongs. Suddenly, the deep claw was set for the ambush. The cephalopod suddenly approached from behind and boosted ahead from fourth to third, as he immediately cut the dragon bird from the side. The road was unable to allow Rick passage and he was lagging behind the impenetrable tank. Boxed in! Thanks, pal. Just remember this the next time I'm in a squeeze. You got it, Octoman, old buddy. I'll keep Wheeler octopied while you cross the finish line. One of his arms curled. He continued to tag beside the dragon bird as much as possible for his ally to take in the gold, even crushing his machine against the guardrail and causing sparks to fly and lose its energy gradually. Bye, Wheeler. Just then his red machine suddenly jerked. Like the slippery fish he was, he even started to lose his grip against the bird as his own machine started to slide against the wall. Knowing this was his chance, Rick hit the brakes just seconds before Octoman made a cocky side attack. The resulting impact caused him to tip over the wall and off course. That was a tough break, but I'm still gonna win. Monster was still ahead of him. With a brief passage, Rick kept an eye on the track. Then the big thing finally had a wide opening. It's go time! Shot past the mutated monster, as did Jack. Take away from me! With all that bulk slowing him down, even the hovering tortoise took his chance as well. That was the nickname Tinsel came up with for Jack's refusal in improving the Astro Robin's stats. So slow, so heavy, doesn't have a good jump height. At headquarters, the entire team was watching the race upon the televid, even Tinsel, who was beaming the most. She always loved watching her idol and best friend race. "Rick's in the lead!" Lucy cheered. "And Jack is right behind him," EAD added. He could never be more right as he saw the Astro Robin tag along the Dragon Bird less than a mile away. "Rick is some amazing racer." Winning races must stir up a lot of memories for him. "What do you mean, Doc?" During the last stretch, the high-flying medico explained Rick's past has been catching up to him. After his culture shock when he woke up from cold sleep, it felt a little less important when he was training himself hard as an F-Zero pilot. Actually, it was thanks to Tinsel that helped improve his racing skills from a list of circuits throughout the Big Apple, as well as a certain someone who also used to teach him some pointers. Just as he was closing in on the finish line, Rick's mind drifted away to a race he competed 150 years ago. He was driving a white Formula One vehicle as two others gave away, leaving Rick to take the gold. It was during the Big Apple Grand Prix, aka the championship, that he took him first. He then took off his helmet as he arose from his car, while the cameramen went crazy taking pictures. It wasn't until a special young woman that broke the constant flashing. "Ah, Rick!" Wearing a light green dress, Ruka beamed, holding a bouquet of roses. As she reached up for him to grab, Rick instead took her up to the winner's circle. "Ah!" Then gleeful when he hugged her by his side while the paparazzi continued their fury. His mind then flashed back to the present just as soon as he crossed the goal. Rick then presented his winning while he raised the golden trophy. However, he wasn't smiling at all. Jack took the second step while Byrex took the lower third. The audience went wild for the newcomer, as did Mr. Zero. "Rick Wheeler has scored his second victory in a row! This amazing rookie has come from nowhere to dominate the circuit with his speed and his style. It looks like F-Zero fans have a new hero." Rick then gave a slight grin while the big screen magnified it. Back at the base's mean hull, Rick's expression was smack dab on a white magazine cover. Lucy just couldn't stop smiling at it. "Hey, that's mine, Jack!" "It's bad enough I have to look at Wheeler's face at work. Now that smug little mugger's face is everywhere. Oh, you should be grateful to Rick. If it wasn't for him, you would have placed fourth in that race instead of second." "I don't need that hot dog's help. I'm the best pilot on the circuit." "If you mean the best on being obnoxious, then I agree 100%. "Huh. Hi, Rick." "Well, if it isn't the cover boy. Thanks for taking time between photo shoots to show up for your day job." "I didn't have anything to do with that magazine cover. They used my picture without my permission. Why can't you admit you love being an F-Zero superstar?" "I was just doing my job." At first Jack was taken aback, but as soon as he was out of sight, he continued his tirade. "I'm glad I'm not him. That guy doesn't know how to be happy whenever he's a winner." "I'd rather be a sore winner than a sore loser. Like you." Huh. Meanwhile, Tanaka was too busy admiring the task force's trophies, particularly Rick's, as his face glistened and reflected off the medal. "If Wheeler keeps this up, he's gonna rule F-Zero racing." It was a good thing we took him out of cold sleep. It was risky, but my gut told me to go for it. There's no doubt he has tremendous talent. I expect him to win a lot of first-place trophies." She seems more down to earth. "That's great! The more the merrier. I'll keep them in my office, so the chief can see them if he ever wants to come in to see me." "I think we have a big problem, Tanaka." "You're right, Jody. This could be a problem. But if I need more room for Wheeler's trophies, I can ask for a bigger office. Wake up, Tanaka. The problem is that he's too successful." "Too successful? But he's supposed to beat the bad guys, isn't he? We're all here to defeat Dark Million, Tanaka. Since Wheeler is winning the prize money they want, he's become their #1 target. Black Shadow and his organization would stop at nothing until Wheeler has been taken out. For good. They can't afford to let him stay on the circuit and keep winning. Wheeler's crucial to the success of our mission. You've got to make sure Dark Million doesn't get to him. Consider it done. Goody. He wasn't long before the horn dog continued to idolize the trophies again, just as soon as Jody left. I never liked John Tanaka's demeanor. That's why I changed it and ending it all. You'll see why when you read it. Within the distinctive spacecraft with the flat top and the pointed body a desolate location, Zoda was steamed as he stomped around. He couldn't get his incompetent henchman's failures off his mind. Biorex and Octagon were far too inferior to get rid of his nemesis. He followed a corridor to the garage as he saw an array of dead soldiers operating on some machines, including his own, and even a pair of machines he did not recognize. And, hello, spoilers, the first one is actually the Sonic Phantom belonging to an undead pilot, while the other is the Moon Shadow. I'll reveal it later. Those tin cans can't turn their backs on me! In his hissy fit, he kicked the robots asunder, and he couldn't continue to follow the dark violet halls to the large main chamber. He plunged into a rotating chair and undulated his leg a few times. Still he was so uneasy. There's nothing but losers around this place. I assume you include yourself. Who asked who? Black Shadow, I didn't realize you. I'm very disappointed in the outcome of the last 2 races. So am I. In my opinion, that punk Wheeler got lucky twice in a row. Your opinion has no interest to me, Zoda, so keep quiet. That made him cringe. This Wheeler has to be stopped. I was hoping you could do it, but apparently that's not the case. Sona noticed 2 pilots behind him, shrouded in shadow as their hoods were over their faces. The evil ruler pointed them out. This is Skull, the galaxy's most powerful sorcerer. What's he supposed to do? He's going to use his magic to stop Wheeler by conjuring someone from Wheeler's past. Who's that? Someone he hasn't seen in 150 years. Proceed with the plan immediately, Skull. Zoda, you can go to the garage and maintain the machines. I wasn't very crazy about the Skull, to be honest. But he's gonna meet his maker real soon. You'll see why. But although I was a little intimidated by the mysterious woman coming up, the new recruit seemed to admire herself as well as the sinister surroundings and her intimidating boss. Soon enough, the cronies got to work. Dragonbird was cruising through the Brooklyn Bridge amongst the sunset shining beside him. Scenery was pleasant, but he seemed to be distracted and lost, as his mind went back to a century and a half once more. He was involved in another race, the semifinals prior to the Big Apple tournament. He remembered it strongly as he gained the upper hand while his opponents gave way when they ran out of fuel. He crossed the finish line first and he leapt out of the race car as Ruka met him. You did it! By the way, if you want to look this up, it's Lap 8, YouTube, English dub. A few hours later it was evening, and the couple were sitting at an outdoor table overlooking the gleaming city. 2 fine glasses of red wine were laid. You were amazing out there today, Rick. Thanks, Haruka. One more win and you'll be the top racer of the year. We'll see. There are a lot of great racers out there, Haruka, and my luck can't hold up forever. It's not luck, Rick. You're the hardest working driver in the circuit. You deserve to be #1. It's no wonder, since she was with him day in and day out. He was always maintaining his car and practicing tirelessly to keep the gears in check, and beating his personal best times. even honing his skills as an amateur. Thanks. It means a lot. Everybody feels the same way I do. I couldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for your encouragement, Haruka. This was mostly true since she was the one who was always at his corner, win or lose. She was not only like a supporter to him, but also his topmost rival, giving him corners. That's sweet. Haruka, winning the championship will be great, but I got my sights set on a much more important prize. As the memory faded, Rick was sitting on a vacant bench at the exact same spot. However, the outlet was removed, as was the table and perches themselves. He stared out to the barren sight. I lost. He uttered in his desperate depression since he lost his previous life in Haruka. His memories brought nothing but pangs of deep sadness. He hardly had enough energy to head to the Falcon House. He really needed someone to talk to of his angst. As he climbed out of the cockpit, he never noticed someone lurking in the shadows. It's showtime. He and his assailant hardly recognized the silver comet parking beside the dragon bird. Tinsel actually followed Rick here. She just couldn't help chasing after him. Even she knew he was as lonely and saddened as he walked in. There was no doubt she was obsessed with him, even when she admitted to Dr. Stewart privately that she has a thing for him. After that incident with Truman about a week ago, which is the previous episode, Michael Sheen's Trap, Tinsel had been warming up more to Rick, so much so that she wanted to make him a list of tracks within Mute City in order to improve his skills as an F-Zero pilot. Following the inventory from the easiest to the difficult, he was able to conquer nearly every track, plus she had his own racing partner besides. Since then, Tinsel had become a more promising cadet for the squad, attempting to improve their most top-notch pilot. With her assistance, he was able to win the previous 2 races. But that all changed a couple weeks later. Tinsel found out Rick won 2 Grand Prix in a row thanks to her. He was described as unstoppable. Unfortunately, Rick was just as vulnerable when Tinsel listened in on his angst. He never felt happy taking these victories, all because he was suffering from survivor's guilt. He couldn't stop thinking of the life he once had 150 years ago, particularly his vengeance for Zoda and his lost relationship with his beloved Haruka. He became somber but later absent and depressed. This also made his mind drift even when he was on the job. She never saw her best friend like this before, and she wished there was something she could do to help heal his deep emotional wounds. The manifestation was too much for them to bear. She then followed the dragon bird, wondering why Rick disappeared so suddenly. She then heard a conversation between him and Bert. The boss just loaded some dishes and closed the washer just before his frequent customer walked in. The door let out some jingles. Hi, Rick. Wasn't expecting him this late as he took a seat. What'll it be? Usual, Bert. Coming up. Bert went to work as he brewed a sweet coffee for him. He then read his face. Say, how come you look so down, Rick? You should be happy. You just won your 2nd victory in a row. Yeah, big deal. Rick. His close friend couldn't find the words to say. The door jingled again, and there was a trio wearing weird neon outfits. I'm afraid you're too late. I'm just closing up for the night. Oh, jeez, what a bummer. Sorry, folks. Have a good night. Bert closed the door, turned out most of the lights, including the one in the entryway, and even flipped the sign from open to closed. It actually showed a tiny blemish of Captain Falcon's face on either side. Thanks, Bert. I think you need some time to talk. Why don't you start from the beginning? He walked behind the counter and washed some dishes as he listened. Over a steaming cup and saucer, he asked him with an expression that was too sad for words. Bert, ever lost somebody you really cared about? Yeah. We had our whole lives ahead of us until I got that call on the radio. Of course, it's from the pilot as he was chasing Zoda through Brooklyn alleys. He shut off the door, kicked it off from the latches, headed straight to Rick's windshield, and he was covered with the lethal shards, and he was in cryo-hibernation for a century and a half. Bert was amazed and empathetic by this. It must have been a big shock when they got you out of cold sleep. They said I've been asleep for 150 years, but I couldn't believe it, so I rushed out to propose to Haruka. When I got to the bridge, I can't stop thinking about her, Bert. I can't get her out of my mind. I'm not sure I want to, even if I knew how. I know it hurts, but you have to let this go. How can I? How can I forget how Soda destroyed me? Everything I had, everything is gone. Looked at his wrinkled glove. Wasn't bleeding. Tinsel from outside looking in knew his heart was. That really sliced her nerve strings. Thinking she should give him some space and hearing all she needed, she held back her tears as her face lowered, and she drove to the apartment complex they shared. His heart hurt as he recalled the walk down to the jewelry store. It was close to a cinema, and Haruka just saw a window sale of a mannequin hand showing a ring with a delicate diamond shining from it. She suggested it would make the perfect gift, whether Rick qualifies or not. He assented it and they walked off. Late that night, just as the outlet was closing up, he bought it and been wanting to save it for a very special occasion. Sadly, he never got the chance. Bert gave him a fresh new cup since the last one went cold while Rick reflected. He still hadn't got the mood to drink it, just stared at the brew while the fluorescent lights reflected and shimmered from it. While writing in her Comet, Tinsel tuned into an oldie from her audio Blu-ray, already loaded inside her stereo. The song suited Rick's lament very well. It played in an E chord, the drum tapped along, a bass played in conjunction with the guitar. The two guys expressed their pain. And that's actually the song, Thick. A World Without Love by Peter and Gordon really described Rick's sadness quite nicely. And here's the info for that. If you want to look this up, by the way, check out Rick's Lament, which is only a DeviantArt exclusive. I don't want to get in trouble because of copyright, so you can pause it here if you want. And you can actually pause it here if you want to, but after seeing that episode, this was actually a song that I chose personally for Rick. What he didn't notice that as he was returning to the Dragon Bird, there was a phantom of sorts with a protruding bone and wearing a large dark cloak. Almost looked as if it belonged to the Grim Reaper himself. He grabbed it by the cloak, then his hood fell off. Though he was never startled, he just let go and walked away. You are haunted. Haunted by a ghost. A girl. Skull then hovered behind him. Let me ease your mind. As if he was about to put a curse on him in order to soothe his inner turmoil. Yet still Rick felt irritated, then he threw him off. Bonehead. Although, as he was looking from on a rooftop, the breathing horror cackled as he let out a palm holding a few strands of Rick's brown hair. This is what he wanted for his deadly spell. Thank you. Hours later, it was late at night, just several hours before sunrise. Nevertheless, Rick was sound asleep from the mounting fatigue and despair, until some chirping caused him to stir. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we have an emergency. Huh? What's wrong? We just got a call from a woman who claims she's defecting from the Dark Million organization. Where do I find her? She's downtown at Fullerton Broadway. I'm sure Dark Million is looking for her too. But if you move fast, you can get to her first. No problem. I'm on my way. He was on the pursuit. Followed a beacon upon his GPS. At least that destination hasn't changed. Should be around here. Then saw a woman holding a basket. Or actually, it should be a purse in front of her, and cringing in fear within an opaque alley. Excuse me, miss, you need help. Sudden memory of Veruca's face came back to him instantly. He noticed she had more bangs than she did. How did you find me? Sorry. I'm from the Galaxy Police. They got your call at headquarters. Huh? Let's go. Together they both ran for the Dragon Bird as some bullets rained down close to them. Then the machine roared off. That went well. It's okay. You're safe now, miss. He looked back at her grim expression for a brief moment, wondering if she was. Nevertheless, he continued toward his flat. He offered the escapee to hang out in his kitchen till the dust would settle. He walked in with a deep, sweet coffee mug with a saucer both for her and himself. I'm afraid I'm not much of a cook, but my coffee's not so bad. Thank you. I don't think you told me your name, miss. I'm Sophia. I heard Dark Million's after you. She closed her eyes as she recapped her bitter experience. My father was captain of the transport cruiser that traveled around the galaxy. He brought my mother and me along on those trips. But during one voyage, Black Shadow attacked the ship. He seized all the cargo and took my parents and me prisoner. He threatened to hurt us unless we worked for him. I knew what I was doing was wrong, so when I lost both of my parents a year ago, I was looking for a chance to get away. I'm very sorry, Sophia. Was just as saddened as her as she was, then took a sip and looked at her face again for a good long while. Is something wrong? No, you just remind me of somebody. Really? Who? Oh, just somebody I used to know. Sorry, I forgot. I still need to tell my boss I brought you here. Put down his coffee and immediately stormed upstairs. He didn't notice Sophia sneering and smiling as he departed. Rick was on his PC, frustrated as he punched around the keys. I forgot to contact headquarters. Lucy told me how to do it, but I wasn't paying any attention. She snuck in from behind. Only Shadow approached him as her voice became deeper, more menacing. Rick, who was the woman you used to know? Huh? Little did he know that Sophia was carrying out the Skull's plot. He snickered in a sinister chamber and was sitting between a pair of tall, blazing torches. The moment you utter her name, you are doomed. It's Haruka. Just say the name. Say it and your life is over. You cannot escape your past. Won't you tell me her name? That struck a warm chord in him. Her name is Haruka. Just as soon as he said it, his chest had a deep, sharp pain. His throat closed up completely. The air passages were blocked. I can't breathe. Good. The spell is working. What spell? The spell that will destroy you. You sealed your fate when you said the name. She even took out a shiny dagger that gleamed in the dim light. You witch! Ugh! He dove out of the way before she made her mark. He held onto the mattress and leapt away again, leaving her to stab another blank. Rick was growing weaker by the second, and he was using a metallic drawer for support, but his weight and dissipating strength caused both of them to topple over. Don't move! Now you'll be with your darling forever! She drew it for his heart, and Rick grimaced and looked away, his eyes laid upon the fallen velvet case where the engagement ring was. It shimmered, and for a moment they both stopped. Rick stared in the eyes of his assassin as he struggled to drive the dagger through him. Even as he held her arm at bay, he wanted to believe there was just an ounce of good in her. Rick! This last ounce of energy, Rick managed to toss her back. She landed on her hands and gazed at her suffocating target. His vision was fading, so was his life force, while he grew more blanched. Rick! From the commotion, Tinsel followed into his apartment. First thing she saw was him, laying lifelessly on the floor. Rick! Rick! She ran up to him as she screeched for him. Then there was the mysterious deadly dame whom she saw jump through the large window. She landed on the roof of the sonic phantom and they raced off into the darkness. Tinsel ran to the shattered window and her breath was shallow. Who was that? Without a second thought, she returned to her fallen friend. She then observed how pale he was. She tried to revive him after she hurriedly put a pillow beneath his damp head. Checking for his vitals, she could tell he wasn't breathing. His pulse was remarkably weak. She ripped apart his white undershirt, lifted his head to open his airways. Then she began to hold his nose while using her other hand to open his mouth. She began to take a deep inhale, then exhale twice into his mouth. She checked his vitals again, still no breath. She repeated the procedure. She also kept on begging for Rick to show a sign of life, thinking she could lose him forever. As quick as a candle, Rick's life just slipped away from him. Rick! Rick, please! She tried to shake the lifeless body awake. There was no response. However, something else happened that she didn't know about. Rick! Rick! As he thought he was dead, he heard a familiar cheery voice call for him. Then he saw a small light at the end of the tunnel. His body was very weak, yet somehow that beacon gave him a small ounce of strength. Curious, he gradually followed it. He shielded his eyes after he reached it. It grew brighter until he was immersed into paradise. Beautiful clouds surrounded him, and beneath him, the air was calm and pleasant, and the sun shined gently on his skin. That soothing atmosphere soothed all the pain he had, both physically and mentally. Get rid of that. He stood up, and there was Haruka smiling at him after she turned. Haruka? He slowly approached her, and he suddenly embraced for a brief period. I'm so glad to see you again after all these years. He was so serene that his voice echoed his peacefulness while he caressed her. Rick, it's not your time. He immediately broke off and was at a loss for words after hearing it. It was as if his heart dropped and shattered. He waited for the last century and a half to be reunited with his long-lost love. Now this? She assured him. Don't worry, Rick. I'll always stay with you. Just remember that I'll be watching over you like I did before you slept. I promise. I'll see you again when the time comes. He recalled a woman who had a stunning resemblance to her. As he was losing consciousness, he saw her crash through a window, shattering the glass. He didn't notice Tinsel being there as she noticed the commotion from the other room. The mouth-to-mouth resuscitation was enough for Rick as he eventually coughed and sputtered, abruptly bringing him back to Earth. He opened his eyes, barely saw Tinsel laying over him in the dark room. Rick, are you all right? I think so. Thank goodness. Suddenly she started to sob, grateful and shaken up since her best friend was given a second chance of life. He never told her nor anyone of his second near-death experience. Soon she composed herself. Rick explained he was unable to contact headquarters, ignoring the searing pain. She offered to write it down for him, and then she did just that, recapping the horrific events, barely keeping her sanity. Feds were on the way, though she decided to watch over him throughout the remainder of the evening. Before she returned with a torn blanket covering him, though, Rick already passed out, and soon did she minutes later as she lay beside him. By morning, the reinforcements arrived, as did the team. Tinsel and Rick slowly rose up, their bodies feeling like being weighed down by cement. A couple of the officers carried Rick to the nearby futon, while a few more were repairing the broken portion of his rear-view window. Yeah? You better take it easy, Rick. Winning an armless lady isn't what it used to be. Tell me about it. Oh, easy. Whoever she is, she must be working for Dark Million. I agree. Jack, EAD, Clash Stewart, and Tinsel listened in. As we win more racers, Black Shadow will try everything he can to stop us. Now we'll have to stay on guard on and off the racetrack. Our lives depend on it. Is that understood? Yes, Jody! When Rick finally got some of his strength back, he was looking out through the sealed window, admiring the fact that his late beloved would always be deep within his heart. Thanks for watching out for me, and for this. He continued to look at the diamond ring twinkling in the sunlight. That was a heartwarming feeling for Rick, knowing there was someone who loved him both living and dead. From that moment on, Tinsel knew she'd be the one who would cure her close comrade, and be there for him if anything should go awry, just as she did that night. She made a personal silent vow to do so, and she would always help him fight his treacherous demons every day. Like I said, this is without doubt my all-time favorite episode of GP Legend, aside from the remastered pilot made by Rovinami. I wish he would make some more of them. It was right then and there when I grew closer to liking Rick. I can actually relate to the guy with his survivor's guilt as well as losing someone, because I lost my mom when I was young. It impacted me so much that I've actually created the songfic Rick's Lament as well. Feel free to check it out. I'd also made an extra fan-made verse to the Cat Stevens classic Moonshadow, since I can associate it with Miss Killer's machine. I doubt anyone else has ever thought of that. I hope I can make an AMV someday, and it'd be about her with the Cars song Stranger Eyes. A lot of elements inspired me so much from that one episode, but it's mostly Rick and his tragic past. I feel he's a perfect example of a hero, as he has feelings of vulnerability, and people aren't invincible. And he doesn't even know it's actually his late girlfriend, hence the events for later fic. Poor guy. I can only wish that he and maybe Lunar Rider can eventually become canon immigrants for the entire F-Zero series. I can treasure the English dub forever. Sometimes I hate it when F-Zero GP Legends in alternate continuity. But yeah, there you have it. There's my F-Zero one-shot. I'm just a huge fan of Rick, no doubt. So, this is Ecron Rider signing out.